There's so much drama going on right now.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Dustin, and I'm back with another video. Now, you know, after I made my video yesterday in which I went over the diatribe that Samantha Ravndahl left on the video that Marlena uploaded, yesterday, Samantha decided that she was going to upload this video, The Problem with the Beauty Community, and I felt some kind of way about it, so I want to respond to it. The easiest way for me to do that would be a voiceover, so that's what I'm going to be doing today, so I hope you like me talking. But let's just get into this. It's probably going to be lengthy. I am not going to read her comment again, but basically, for those of you that did not watch my video, and you should go back and watch that if you have not already, what I took away from what she said is basically that this was a stereotype that Marlena was putting out half-truths, that not everyone charges $60,000 per video. We all know that, but she took some kind of offense to it, and I want to break that down. So let's just get into it, girl, and see what happens.
Hello. I'm just back with another video talking about my thoughts that no one wants to hear.
You absolutely made sure that we heard your thoughts and opinions in that comment that you left, just so you're aware.
Okay, let's get into it. So there has been a lot of drama happening in the beauty community lately. There's been a lot of speculation over where the community is headed. There's been a lot of people discussing what they feel like the issues are, all those different kinds of things, and I'm gonna talk about that today. I do have a little note compiled, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm trying to reference my notes so that I stay moderately on track and don't get like completely going off into like a little tangent, which I've done once or twice.
Yeah, I'd say so. You writing a whole thesis in somebody's comment section because you're butthurt over what they had to say and you took offense to something that made you look really guilty? Okay, go ahead. We're going to be fast-forwarding through a lot of this. I'm just going to hit on the key points.
I'll admit. This is the issue that I've been seeing. I feel like a lot of people are trying to dismantle what the issues of this industry are, but only from their perspective. So you have brands saying what the issue is from their perspective, you have influencers saying what the issue is from their perspective, and then you have consumers saying what the issue is from their perspective. So I wanted to kind of attack this based on all three parties that contribute to all of this. Before we jump into this, I just want to relay the reality that this is my experience. I'm a consumer and an influencer, but I would be majority probably taking my opinion from the influencer side of things, so just keep that in mind.
Okay, sis, I hear you. I know that you're an influencer as well as a consumer, but would that not mean that you're just a smidge biased in what you're saying when you're making this video? Food for thought.
Take everything I say with a grain of salt because this is my personal experience.
See, I already don't like your argument because you've already told me as an influencer, as a consumer, to take your opinion as a grain of salt. So therefore, if you don't value your opinion, I don't either.
So the issue that I see with brands is that they don't feel like they're getting their return on investment right now. If you're not aware of like what that essentially means, it just basically means brands are investing dollars into this industry and they don't feel like they're getting back enough to make investing those dollars worthwhile. Personally, I feel like based on people I've talked to, based on articles that I've read, WWD recently released an article talking about how they feel like influencers aren't bringing return on investment, blah, blah, blah. It feels like the overwhelming majority of brands are kind of pointing the finger to influencers and saying they aren't bringing the return on investment anymore.
That's probably because so many influencers are now being canceled due to their problematic past. I mean, I was just Googling your name for the picture, and I seen that you had some skeletons in your closet as well, darling.
This is leading to a lot of consumers believing that brands are about to start pulling their money out of the influencer marketing machine. I disagree. I don't think that will happen, first of all. I think a big issue with brands is that they are spending their money in a way that doesn't benefit anybody.
I'll save you guys on what she says here. Basically, she just explains herself on how PR is so expensive and companies spend so much money on PR to send out to different influencers. But my whole thing is, aren't there like influencers out here like begging to be on PR lists and they get butthurt and upset when they're not on PR lists? But she's sitting here making an argument that companies are spending way too much money on PR. Now, I, for one, know myself that if these influencers just got a box of a product and it didn't come with like Beats or it didn't come with something like really nice, they would probably be upset, or they would be less likely to promote that brand because they felt like they were being shafted, that they didn't get like an exclusive experience. I mean, that may just be my opinion, but I've seen it with a lot of different influencers. This was also part of her comment that she left on Marlena's video yesterday. She basically said that Marlena's not sending out PR anymore, so it's left up to the influencer to actually get the product, and she really didn't want to go into her pockets to buy the product to promote it. Where's the love of makeup? That's the part that I think we're all missing here.
I'll tell you right now how I deal with my PR as an influencer. I get about 30 packages a week of PR. I organize that PR based on this structure. I have a pile of things that you guys are really excited about, that you really want me to review. Things like, Subculture or the Norvina palette, any kind of like highly anticipated launches. That is like my first priority.
Now, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but would these brands that she just mentioned not be the mega brands that are sending out these big PR packages for influencers to review that she was just complaining about?
That's what I put in a pile that I'm like, I need to film with this as soon as I can because this is what people want to see. Then I post about things that I'm personally excited about.
Here's where my confliction comes in. She says that she has to do all of these things because of her audience. And I get, as a YouTuber, you do have to cater to your audience or they will not watch your content, obviously. But her love of makeup should come first. You get what I'm saying? Above anticipation. She should just be doing these things from the heart. And I get that this girl is an influencer and she probably makes her living on here. But at the end of the day, why did she start doing this? Did she start doing it because of money, or did she start doing it for her love of makeup that she's like strayed away from? We'll actually be talking a little bit more about this further on in this video.
Brands that I have a stronger relationship with, so I know a little bit more of what went into the product, so that excites me in turn. And then I have some products that either immediately get donated because nobody has any interest in them, or I personally have zero interest in them, or I have some issue with the way that it was marketed or whatever, which gets donated. And then there's other products that like I'll keep because I'm kind of interested in it, and I'll see if people maybe want to like thing down the line, or maybe I'll use it eventually. But like there's a huge group of products that fall into that last group. But I think that a lot of people kind of perceive influencers as being entitled because we are donating this product, we're not as excited about certain product, we don't post about certain product, whatever. But you have to understand, again, yes, you would be excited because you are a consumer that's spending money on this product, but the brand isn't sending out this product to be nice. The brand is sending out this product because they want free promotion.
Bloop. This right here is what really killed me about this whole video. Now, like I just said, I know that this girl is an influencer. I know that she probably pays her bills and fills her stomach with the money that she makes from this. But you cannot expect to make $1 off every single thing that is sent to you. Yes, these companies send you things because they want you to talk about their product. And sometimes getting a free product should be enough. You get what I'm saying? That does, in fact, sound very, very entitled, Samantha.
It's their first line of attack. It's their first line of marketing that costs them very, very little versus, having to pay people thousands of dollars to talk about that product.
Now let's play devil's advocate here for just a minute. A minute ago in your video, you just said that you organized your PR based on the anticipation of the crowd that's wanting to watch it and then your own personal feelings toward the brand that actually sent you the PR. So are you telling me that even if you have a close relationship with the brand, you would not be willing to even promote them for, say, something like free at all? Like, I get your time is important, but if you really trust a brand and you really feel that a brand is good for your subscribers, why wouldn't you do that if they just sent you a free product? That really makes no sense to me. I get you can't do it all the time, but whatever.
Jumping back to why people sometimes don't post PR packages, simply put, it would be almost impossible to talk about every single launch that we're receiving in the mail. So you have to kind of prioritize what, is going to be talked about.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just my opinion, and you guys know that I'm entitled to it, and I encourage debate here on this channel. But what I took from this is she would probably be more likely to promote a product that she was actually being paid for. that's basically what I took from this. And you guys, don't get me wrong. Again, I know that this is the way that this girl pays her bills, but again, she made a very big deal about the money and everything that Marlena said in her video. Keep that in mind.
For me, the issue with brands is they're not getting a return on investment, which they're blaming influencers for. They're spending too much money on things like PR and brand trips that really benefit nobody. And I think that a lot of the times brands are unwilling to collaborate on what might bring the best return on investment. There's a lot of times where brands will send through either scripts or very, very, very thorough talking points in terms of what they want you to talk about in a sponsored video. And a lot of the times they will send through specific products that they want featured as well.
So you're complaining about the brands and you're complaining about the money that's being spent on these brand trips, but yet you're sitting here and you're complaining that they will send you very thorough details for you to talk about and talking points in a video. That, as a brand, is actually them saving money to not send you on a brand trip that you're complaining about so terribly. And if in fact they are paying you to do a sponsored video, that would then become part of your job.
So my personal experience as an influencer has been that I will usually talk to the brand and say, hey, you know what, like, I would never say something like this. I know that was in your brief as something that you really wanted said, but like I personally, like I just wouldn't ever speak to this in a brand. Like there's just some things that brands want you to talk about that you as a consumer or an influencer would either A, never know, or B, like you would hear it and be like, oh, okay, but I don't really care.
But you do realize that when you work with said brand and you are working on sponsored videos, that you, in fact, are working for the money that they are paying you. Even if it's not something that you would say, you could say it in a way to let your audience know, hey, this is the way that the company wanted me to say it, and then put it in your terms. You get what I'm saying?
And the brands, I find, are very unwilling to actually collaborate on what we believe will give them the best return on investment.
Have you never heard the phrase, don't bite the hand that feeds you? If a company is willing to work with you, if a company is willing to pay you to do a video that is honest, of course, why wouldn't you just do what they ask? It sounds like you have a real big control issue, and it sounds like you really just want to take over when a brand is wanting to work with you. So therefore, I don't know why people do work with you.
Because this is the thing. If you have brand A coming to me saying, you need to talk about brand A like we do, that's not why you're hiring me. I have my following, I have my return on investment because I talk about things the way that I do versus talking about things like you do and this brand does and this brand does. I'm talking about my personal experience with these products, and that's what's going to resonate with my audience. So rather than listening to influencers and what might bring them the best return on investment, they're pushing their own narrative. And I understand, because you're transitioning from traditional media where you controlled every single aspect of what was said and what was done, and there was nothing that was public to, your consumer. It was all private. It was all done behind the scenes. Nobody knew what kind of money was exchanging hands. Nobody knew the kind of talk that was going on behind the scenes. Like, none of this was discussed publicly.
Okay, I get what you're saying, and this is not a traditional media outlet. The internet is still kind of new in influence and things like that. You keep using the word narrative and how they're pushing this on narrative, but as a brand, there are talking points that you need to talk about products. I have a very vast background in sales, and I have always had talking points at my job. What is the problem with you doing your job? As long as you are honest and as long as you are forthright with you being sponsored and you're being honest about the product, what is the problem, Samantha? Control issues. You sound like a control freak.
And so brands have a really hard time relinquishing that kind of control, because for decades we've been going the route of traditional media. I'm the first person to bitch and moan about the people in this industry.
Oh girl, we know by that comment that you left on the video, and then you making this video to follow that up, and then basically assert control over companies that are wanting to work with you. We get it. You sound like a very entitled beauty influencer, and this is probably why I have never, ever watched your content.
There are so many shitty, horrible people that are doing so well, and none of you know anything that goes on behind the scenes, how these people treat others, and it is frustrating. It's frustrating to be a part of that and to think that, you have to watch these shitty people do really well.
Final thoughts on Samantha and this whole comment and her narrative pushing and all this, that, and the other. I think that she probably means well, but I don't think that she's very good at discerning what she is actually trying to say, because this video was very well, like, all over the place. She had no direction. She sounded like she was talking out of her ass the whole time, and I just really didn't appreciate it. She sounds like someone that wants to take total creative control over every collaboration or sponsorship when it just does not work that way. When somebody is paying you to do a service, you do the service as long as you're being honest, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Just keep it pushing and move on to the next. If you're not going to do it from the heart and you're going to do it for money and just shut up. Like, that's basically what I want to tell her. I don't really dislike her, but I'm not really a big fan of her. Like, I cannot sit through the rest of this video because I could literally respond to, like, everything that she says, and it's just getting boring and bothersome at this point, and I don't want to bore you guys as well, but let me know what you think down below. Do you think that I made valid points, or do you just hate me because I called out Samantha Ravndahl? But as always, I encourage debate, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.